Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Sarah, and we're with CCB Counseling in Bloomington, Indiana.
So today we wanted to teach you guys a technique called worry candles. Worry candles are something that we use with clients to help them ground back into themselves. The worry candles are great because it's a deep breathing exercise, but it also provides a safe and tangible place to put your fears. All of this will make a little bit more sense once Sarah explains it. So Sarah, can you kind of give us a rundown on how to do worry candles?
Yes, I can. So let's say a child or even a teen comes to you and they're feeling really upset. And maybe they don't know why, maybe they don't really want to talk. So what you need is one hand. And you say, well, tell me a couple of the things that you're worried about. And they might say, well, I got home from school and I didn't see my cat. And on the playground today, my friend didn't play with me and I don't really know why. You might have to probe and say, well, what else? Tell me all the things. Well, mom's been working late a lot of days this week. That's kind of on my mind. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Okay, is there anything else? Well, we're having broccoli for dinner. I don't really like broccoli. And then when you've checked in and they've kind of done all the candles, go to two hands if you need to. Then you've lit all the worry candles. And then the next thing you do is with the child, take a big breath in through your nose. And on the way out, blow out all the worries, just like a birthday candle. And then I've had a kid say, I feel better. Why does that work? And I say, do you want the magic or do you want the science? So the science of it is when our brains are really emotionally activated, we can't get to that logical place of saying why I'm upset or really knowing what to do about it. But the very act of kind of putting a name to those different worries and splitting them apart takes it from that big emotional part of the brain to the logic part. And then the fuel of the air gives the brain and the body what they need to be able to make sense out of these worries and know what to do about them, what the next step is. And for a kiddo, the magic, I say, is you feel better, don't you? And they usually know that that's what it feels like.
Thanks for that, Sarah. And we've been saying you can use this with your kids, but you can also use this with yourself. Deep breaths are good for everyone. So we hope this was helpful. Please continue to check back for more videos of mental health techniques and tips to use at home.
Hello, I'm Yuju, and I'll be introducing the practice of mindful eating. Many of us are familiar with the concept of mindfulness practice. It is bringing awareness into the present moment, noticing, acknowledging, and accepting our feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations, and access those experiences without judging ourselves. So in essence, mindful eating means being fully attentive to our food, and this could be our meal or just a snack. And for practicing this, we need to pay attention to our body's sign of hunger and fullness. When we feel hungry, that's our body's language to ask for food. And it's probably a good idea to eat something instead of wait until we feel starved. And similarly, when we have the feeling of fullness in our stomach, it's probably a good idea to stop instead of keep going. And the whole point of this is to eat for nutrition and for our physical health and try to reduce the aspect of eating just for our emotional comfort. So when we're practicing this, start with a small portion, appreciate the food and examine the ingredients and give time to imagine the process of making it. And then we bring all the senses to the food and pay attention to them. How does it smell like? How does it look like? And how does it feel like in our hand if we are holding it? And then we're taking small bites and chew thoroughly. And that is to help to eat slowly and to try not to multitask when eating. And then we can bring full attention to our food. So for example, if I'm eating a piece of bread, I'll break it into little pieces, look at the color of it, pay attention to how it smells like, look at the texture and pattern, and be aware of how it feels like in my hand. And then I'll eat it slowly, carefully, and pay attention to it while I eat it. And so that's the mindful eating practice. I hope you'll find that helpful in your daily life.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Grace, and we're from CCB Counseling Services in Bloomington.
And we're back with another episode of Tricks to Help with Children's Mental Health as a Parent. So you probably know as a parent, there are times that you have big, gigantic feelings and you get super mad at somebody, and in the back of your mind, you probably know it's not really them that you're mad at, but you know that you're feeling really mad and activated. Well, this happens to kids too, and I'm sure you've had that experience where your kid is so activated and they're feeling these giant feelings and you say, "What's wrong?" And they don't know. So we have a tool for that.
We have the emotion wheel. So you can make this easily at home. Just grab some paper. If you have crayons, markers, colored pencils, that would be best. And so you just draw the circle, put it into 6 different pie pieces. And then if you look over here, I kind of have like a legend, and it has different emotions listed. So what I want you to do is when you're with your kiddo, have them determine the 6 things that they feel the most. And then I want them to put the color next to the emotion that they associate that color with. So they're going to pair the color and the emotion. So then how do we use this? Well, when you're asking that question, what's wrong? Like, what's going on today? What are you feeling? I'm having a hard time. They can easily walk over to this emotion wheel and kind of just point to what they're experiencing. And this is really helpful because when we're feeling activated, language is harder to grasp. It's harder to use. And just by allowing them to communicate to you what they're feeling without having to actually say it, this increases their ability to calm down, and usually in a quicker way. So it kind of takes the demand off of them to know what's going on. And it clues you into their inner world. So this is the emotion wheel. Very easy to make at home.
All right, so stay tuned for more parenting kids with mental health hacks.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 9th Annual Catholic Charities Benefit. My name is Robin Gress, and I'm the president of CCB's Advisory Council. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you this afternoon. Our theme, which we introduced last year, continues to be Mental Health Recovery Happens Together, because it is still so true. And this year, just like last year, coming together physically was simply not possible. And once again, we have a lot to tell you. Fortunately, if there's one thing we've learned, it's how to connect online. So, while we would much rather be in the same room with all of you, We are grateful to join you virtually. In fact, if you have questions or comments, please share them in the Facebook feed, and we will do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. Now, before we begin, I would like to take just a moment to recognize three very important groups of people. The first is CCB's therapists, interns, and staff members. They are the ones who carry out the real work of Catholic Charities Bloomington. To hear them talk about what they do and why they do it is to get a first-rate lesson in compassion, professionalism, and dedication. We are very proud of them, and you'll be hearing from one of them later in the program. The second special group is our community partners and donors. Without them, we would not be able to offer quality mental health care for all, and we are so grateful for their support. You will hear more about who they are and the programs we offer with that support from our clinical director, O'Connell Case, later in the program. The third special group of people are my fellow members of the Catholic Charities Bloomington Advisory Council. They give their time, their talent, and their resources in support of the agency. You know, many people ask me what we do as volunteers at a mental health agency, since we are not therapists, social workers, or mental health experts. Well, what we are advocates, friend raisers, and fundraisers. We care deeply about the work of Catholic Charities Bloomington, the people it serves, and the welfare of the whole community. I invite you, actually, I urge you, any of you who are looking for a way to fight poverty, create hope, and serve all, to consider joining us. Interested? Please let me know. To start our program, I would like to introduce Ronnie, a former client at CCB, to share his story of mental health recovery.
My name's Ronnie Bell. I am originally from Bloomington, but currently live in Santa Barbara, California. I came to Catholic Charities because I was very sad. And I thought I was sad because I couldn't get other people to do what I needed them to do, because as I've been told in a joke that I knew everything back then. I was having a hard time getting from the beginning of the day to the end. I had been in therapy at another facility for 3 years and had no results whatsoever. I didn't expect a lot from Catholic Charities either. But I had made the phone call and had to leave a message, and the therapist actually called me back, and I didn't answer the phone, and then called me a second time, and I answered and began work on myself, not other people. Didn't know that at the time. I didn't realize, and it's not a good term, but how broken I was. I went to see O'Connell with a question of how, not how I needed to change, but how can I adjust to where all this other stuff is okay, or how to learn to live with this other stuff. When O'Connell went over boundaries with me, it was just unbelievable. And my kids especially were in a little shock when I started putting boundaries into place. In the beginning, I was still on disability, Social Security, and still thought of myself as disabled, and realize now, we were talking this morning how the mind and body are so much touch, because if you tell yourself that you're disabled for long enough, you will in fact be disabled. I think I just wanted to see what kind of nursing jobs were out there. And there was an opening for, they call the Baylor position, which means you work every weekend, charge nurse on ICU. And I kind of applied for it on a whim. I thought there was no way, after there was such a distance between when I had worked before, they'd be crazy to hire me. And they did. And I was very scared because I thought perhaps my skill sets would, because it had been a long time since I'd practiced. And I happened to be fortunate enough to have 5 other nurses who worked with me to help me realize that all it was remembering, and I could get into it really quickly. We all became friends, and I went home and I hurt really bad. And my back hurt, my hips hurt, all the same stuff. But there was this feeling of I was glad they did, because I did something. Catholic Charities helped me realize that I can do anything. All I have to do is want to.
Thank you, Ronnie, for sharing your mental health journey with us. We're so glad you're feeling better and able to live the life you want. Your story shows that, indeed, mental health recovery does happen together. With that thought in mind, let's hear now from someone who helps clients in their healing process. I would like to introduce Mike Stribling, Associate Clinical Director of Catholic Charities Bloomington, to share why he feels so strongly about the work we do.
Hi, my name is Michael Stribling. I'm the Associate Clinical Director of Catholic Charities Bloomington. Thank you so much for being here today and participating in this event. I wanted to share with you a little bit of my perspective on, as a therapist, why I do what I do, and how myself and our entire staff and agency are determined to meet the needs of our community. As an outpatient mental health clinic, we are keenly aware of the increasing demand for mental health services. The population Catholic Charities Bloomington seeks to provide help to often has roadblocks and barriers to those services. And that is our mission at Catholic Charities, to provide high quality mental health care services to all people, regardless of all human characteristics, so we can help support them and their families grow and progress in the challenges they face every day. I've been this way my whole life, wanting to do good, wanting to be good, and all of the staff at Catholic Charities Bloomington has that same mission-driven philosophy. Our agency focuses on training for the staff and therapists so we can provide cutting-edge services to the community and the people that cross our doors. Along with that, we know the challenges that other people face, and we like being there as a means to support them. And an hour of therapy a week, or an hour of therapy every 2 weeks, where someone is meeting you with unconditional positive regard, care, and concern, with a positive and supportive, uplifting outlook, can literally change someone's life from the inside out. So that's a little bit about what it means to be a therapist at Catholic Charities and a staff member at Catholic Charities. We once again thank you so much for your participation in today's event, and we will keep focused on our mission, doing what we do to support all people, doing good and being good. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing your passion with us. I can assure all of you that the entire staff of Catholic Charities Bloomington share his passion and his commitment to the work of helping people heal. Let's hear now from another client. I'd like to introduce you to Victoria.
I started with Catholic Charities back in 2018. I was going through what some people consider a rough patch with a separation which led to divorce. And at that time, I could feel that I was heading down a wrong path and struggling to find my way. to some inner peace as well as managing my life at that time. When I came to Catholic Charities, my daughter was also in therapy here, and I needed some guidance as well how to manage that situation to help her through the process of divorce as well. And working with the therapist here at Catholic Charities really made a huge difference in how I was able to navigate the path and do it more efficiently. And I've been in therapy before, and it's always good to have somebody listen to you. That's a cathartic process, but at the same time, my therapist as well as my daughter's therapist were very proactive. They engaged in the process, you know, reflected things back to us that we were saying to see if it made sense to us, took opportunities to give us activities outside of the therapy sessions to practice these new behaviors that we were trying to learn. And we did so, I think, both very successfully. We're currently no longer in therapy, but always have it as a resource for when other events come up in our life, that we look forward to having that opportunity to work with them again when needed. While in therapy, I was able to more efficiently process what was going on. It's easy to get kind of stuck in your head when you're in a situation that you have a lot of emotions. There's usually a lot of logistics to what's going on in your life, and helping kind of tear through those hard processes of working through those emotions to get on a better path. Both my daughter and I were in therapy at the same time, you know, trying to process, you know, how to make it out on the other side of separation and divorce at that time. And afterwards, you know, after therapy, finding a better place and a better path for ourselves, we learned skills to how to cope with, you know, stressful situations, as well as how to use our network of resources of our friends and other things to stay more centered in our lives, so that we don't get so far off the path of, you know, some inner peace that we just end up, you know, on the wrong path again. But it's always nice to know that we have Catholic Charities as a resource to go back to if we need it again. I am in my healing process at the point where I feel like I'm on the other side of recovery. It was pretty traumatic to, you know, be engaged in the process of a divorce. Even the most amicable ones, it's still a lot of emotions to work with there. I feel like that's not the focus of my life anymore. It's not the center of my thoughts. It's something that I've been through and successfully come out on the other side. I feel like that I've been able to successfully move past those raw emotions through the help that my therapist at Catholic Charities provided me. I'm now in a point in my life that, you know, I'm working to, you know, be a better mom, you know, be a better employee, and my focus is in other areas for personal achievement now, rather than dealing with those old raw emotions. If you're looking to try therapy, be open to the process. Be open to advocating for what you need in the process. It's a lot of hard work at times to get to a better path. But with my therapist at Catholic Charities, I was able to get on that path and do it in a more efficient way, and it was really worth the work to get there.
Isn't that a remarkable story? So inspiring, so courageous. Thank you, Victoria, for sharing it with us. Catholic Charities Bloomington is truly a blessing for individuals and families who are struggling with mental health issues and who have little or no hope. To give an update on Catholic Charities Bloomington and how we have adapted to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is my pleasure to introduce Clinical Director O'Connell Case.
This has been an interesting and challenging year for all of us. The pandemic challenged our mission of increasing accessibility to mental health care, and the offices had to shut down. It challenged our view of ourselves as creative and an innovative agency. Well, as Albert Einstein said, in the midst of crisis lies great opportunity. As an agency, as therapists, and for our clients, we sought and found plenty of opportunities. Once again, we found that mental health recovery happens together. We shut our offices and started working from home in March. With the help of the community agencies and partners like the United Way of Monroe County Council, and the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County, we were able to pivot to telehealth services using technology we had not had before. We didn't miss a beat, calling our clients at home and continuing therapy. We even continue to serve the kids at Fairview Elementary on telehealth. Everyone was grateful and relieved that in their isolation, we continue to support them with quality mental health care. We figured out how to make all our paperwork electronic so that we would have the capacity to take on new clients. By August, our referrals had doubled. By October, the referrals had tripled. We were in a tsunami of mental health services demand. With funding from these community agencies and partners, we were able to hire 2 more therapists to meet the demand. I should say that the nature of the calls were different after the pandemic started. There were more first-time users of services, and the tone of the calls were much more urgent. People who have been able to use their coping skills for distraction, socialization, and being busy were now having more intense symptoms and needing services. The teenagers seemed to be at most risk with the isolation and inability to socialize with their peers. What we were seeing has been backed up by recent studies that show that 1 in 4 teens have contemplated suicide during the pandemic. This group could not wait for services, and we did everything that we could to provide them in real time. In addition, we increased our presence in the digital world in hopes of reaching those that were not receiving services from us. We added helpful hints for coping and videos demonstrating coping skills, parenting skills, and self-care to our Facebook page and created our own YouTube channel. We started filming training videos at the request of our community nonprofit partners so that their staff could have information and resources to cope and share. We saw that parents needed support in their uncertain time as they were unemployed, working from home, or working in high-risk environments. The Lilly Foundation awarded us a grant that allowed us to add a parent and child development coordinator to concentrate on supporting parents. This led to us offering 2 free parenting consults with little wait time. It led to conversations with Thriving Connections and the creation of parenting hacks that we now share on social media. It led to the addition of another partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. So in addition to providing mental health support to their members, we have embarked on the creation of a peer-led parenting group. During this time, we were recognized by Mental Health America of Monroe County as the Monroe County Mental Health Champions Outstanding Agency. We had several therapists nominated as outstanding mental health providers, and our clinical director, me, won the award. The affirmation of the importance of good mental health and quality mental health care was wonderful, and we could see that the community was behind us. Again, we were reminded that mental health recovery happens together. Staff at other nonprofits were working very hard and under a lot of pressure. With community funding, we created a nonprofit staff program where staff of nonprofits could quickly access up to 6 therapy sessions for $5 a session. We're taking our theme to heart. By taking care of our nonprofits, together we serve our community. While responding to the needs of the community by expansion, we also maintain the programs that we had. We continued our clinical internship program, partnering with IU and other universities, mentoring and training our future clinicians. Along the way, we learned a lot of lessons. We learned that telehealth could reduce barriers to treatment. Childcare, transportation, and time availability were no longer barriers for many. Being able to reach people in their home environment was rewarding, more comfortable for many, and we got to see pets, people, and items that are important to them. It also brought to light that those with little resources could have challenges with internet and that there's a real need for broadband connection. We learned how to get creative, adapt, and find ways to provide the same treatment interventions virtually. There was a lot of training, sharing of resources among the staff, and energy that there must be an innovative way to be effective. Moving forward, we demonstrated that our agency could find a way to provide high-quality mental health care to support our community, even in challenging times. While we are still 100% telehealth services, we are moving back to the office in stages to a safe, protected environment. In the future, we will be seeing our clients in person, but we will retain the ability to provide telehealth services in a hybrid model because it increases accessibility to those services. The electronic version of our paperwork is efficient, convenient, and will continue. We have staff that are highly trained in various models of trauma work to continue to provide quality mental health care, no matter their source of funding. We will continue to deepen our partnerships we have made over the past year with IU, other nonprofit agencies, and will have more virtual presence in the community. We will continue to be a thought leader and a convener in the community on mental health issues. The need for mental health services is greater now than ever. In 2020, CCB provided 8,269 hours of therapy. In 2021, we are on track to provide 10,000 hours. We're one of the largest outpatient Medicaid providers in the area. Our reimbursement for insurance and sliding fee scale payments do not cover the cost of our services. We invite you to join with us to make mental health recovery happen together by considering a gift to Catholic Charities Bloomington. Are you curious about the difference your contribution can make? Take a look at the screen to get an idea of how your gift can impact people in need. I want you to consider how affordable it is to make a gift of impact. We assure you that 92 cents of every dollar provides quality mental health to our clients. And giving couldn't be easier. Visit ccbin.org and click Give Now. It's that easy. If you would like to mail us a check, that should be made payable to Catholic Charities Bloomington and mailed to us at 803 North Monroe Street, Bloomington 47404. Please write Annual Benefit in the memo line. For more on how you can support Catholic Charities, I'd like to introduce our Development Director, Sherry Bush.
Hi, my name is Sherry Bush, and I'm not only the Development Director for Catholic Charities Bloomington, I also happen to be a monthly donor. Together, we can make mental health recovery happen. If you would like to make a gift of stock, a gift from your IRA, or your donor advised fund, or even remember us in your will, please contact me. If you're interested in subscribing to our newsletter, please visit ccbin.org and click on e-news. On behalf of Ronnie, Victoria, and everyone who joins us to make mental health recovery happen together, I want to thank you, and I extend our sincere thanks for our generous sponsors and donors who who made this event possible today. Tom and Emily Schwen, Shirley Boardman, Steve and Leanne Luce, Arnholt and Stagg's Law Office, Bunger and Robertson, Gelzer Investment Management, Janice Peterson, Jay and Jenny Kincaid, Anonymous, Kurt and Judy Simic, Kara Bersch Counseling, Mark and Mary Claire Bowman, Mark and Eileen Crane, Mental Health America of Monroe County, Sarah Raganese, St. Jude Catholic Church in Spencer, and St. Martin of Tours Catholic Church. We hope that you enjoyed our program. Thank you again for your generous support. Have a wonderful day.